Like 22 of the 32 teams can make an argument they can win the Super Bowl. But I think we have the greatest gap in the history of any sport in coaching. Think about how great Coach K is, right? He's so great. In college, we let him coach our pros in the Olympics. And in 15 years, with massive talent advantages at Duke, they've been to 2 Final Fours. We think Nick Saban's great. Nick Saban, because you can recruit 25 new first-rounders every year in college, with massive talent advantages in his career, is 14-10 in bowl games. We saw Bill Belichick, the greatest football coach ever, against the best young football coach in the Super Bowl. It was embarrassing for Sean McVay. It was a clinic. Fans and the media get so enamored with talent. When has New England ever had the best talent? One time. 2007, they had the best personnel in the league on offense. They went 16-0 and broke every record. You really think when Freddie Kitchens and Belichick meet in Week 8 this year, it's a fair fight? When Belichick was winning his first Super Bowl, Freddie Kitchens was the running back coach at North Texas. Even young coaches we think are excellent, Anthony Lynn of the Chargers, flummoxed. In 20 years, there are only 2 coaches that have truly given Bill Belichick trouble. Number 1, Andy Reid in the regular season, and number 2, Tom Coughlin in the postseason. Outside of that, even when he went up against Pete Carroll in a Super Bowl, it felt like he was sort of on a different level. Remember when the Rams played the Chiefs in the Coliseum? It's the craziest football game I've ever seen. There were 105 points, over 1,000 yards. They were the 2 most explosive offenses all year. Bill Belichick, who's a defensive coach, played the Chiefs and the Rams. Combined, they scored 0 points in the first half. There's never been a gap in coaching in any sport, any level, like Belichick and the rest of the NFL. Great to have you in. Let me read one of these spots. I got to get to one of these spots. If you own a sports team, need to be informed, make smart decisions to build a champ, no different. Selling a car, new or used, go to TrueCar.com. Good choices. Ready to trade it in? Check it out. True cash offer not available in all areas. That wasn't very subtle. Great to have you in today. Okay, so I've been critical of Mike Tomlin through the years, and I've been critical of Pete Carroll through the years because they're the same coach. Big energy, great at a podium, unbelievable vibe, terrific teachers of young football players. Their young players all get better. And they're a little loose for my taste. Teams get a little loose, a little chatty, a little this, a little that. I'm always left feeling like, left a lot of points on the table. But Mike Tomlin has a new deal. And even though I've been critical of Mike Tomlin, he deserves a new deal. Listen, here's the reality. You can't look at an all-time great and compare people to him. Take Bill Belichick out of the equation. He never existed. The next 4 or 5 great veteran coaches in this league are Andy Reid, Sean Payton, Mike Tomlin, Pete Carroll. And for all of them, aren't we all saying the same thing? Shouldn't they have another Super Bowl? Shouldn't they have a Super Bowl? Shouldn't Andy Reid have a... Shouldn't Sean Payton... Shouldn't... Bill Belichick makes Mike Tomlin look bad. That's because Bill Belichick makes virtually everybody look bad. Okay, it's same with Nick Saban in the SEC. There is no other Nick Saban. LSU was winning 10 games a year in bowl games. They had Les Miles. Well, he's not Nick Saban, so they fired him. Now they're not as good a program. You were winning 10 games a year. You just couldn't beat Nick Saban. Who's beating Nick Saban? One guy in the country is beating Nick Saban. Occasionally, Dabo Swinney. That's it. And he didn't have to play him every year in the same conference. It's the same with Tiger Woods. For 10 years, Goulet, you were with me. For 10 years, I was taking calls, arguing with people. Rory's not the next Tiger, and Justin Rose isn't the next Tiger, and Ricky Fowler's not the next Tiger, and Jordan Spieth's not the next Tiger. There is no next Tiger. What about Brooks Koepka? He's not the next Tiger. Tiger Woods was 11 years old and signed with IMG. He was 15, and we gave a rip about junior tournaments. Brooks Koepka's great at 27 years old. You didn't know who he was until he was 26. I mean, Tiger Woods at 3 years old was on TV doing a golf swing. At 11, signed with an agency, and at 15, captivated Jack Nicklaus. Brooks Koepka's a late bloomer who's kicking butt. He'll never be Tiger. So it's unfair to compare him. Take Tiger out. Brooks Koepka is unbelievable. Compared to Tiger, everybody to Saban, everybody to Belichick, everybody to Tiger. Who's the next LeBron? There isn't one. Just enjoy LeBron. The only time in my life where there's been the next in the history of sports, Kobe Bryant was not that far off Michael Jordan. He sounded like him. He played like him. That was the only time in my life you had an all-time great, and a guy came in and you're like, he's about 85% of Michael. I didn't think he was quite as strong as Michael. It didn't quite have the defensive lockdown. Not quite as great as Michael. But Kobe was about as good as you're about as close as you're going to get. But when you get these iconic figures like Mike Tomlin, you got to get past Belichick owns him. Just take Belichick out. You can't get rid of coaches because they can't beat outliers or golfers or college coaches. Nobody's beaten Coach K. Roy Williams beats him occasionally. That's good enough. That's good enough. Don't try to get happier than happy. Mike Tomlin gets you to the playoffs. I just saw this morning. I think my staff gave me this. He's 0 losing seasons. Okay. Again, never had a losing season. 8 of the 12 years he's made the playoffs. And he was 9-6-1 last year with drama all over his locker room. And by the way, some of it is his fault, but not all of it. Big Ben has his issues too. It's not all on Mike Tomlin. So again, can we take the outliers out? Stop firing people, because the SEC has gone through 77 coaches since Nick Saban got hired. Really? LSU was winning 10 games a year. Les Miles was winning bowl games. He just couldn't beat Saban. Are you better today without Les Miles? I don't think you are. Nothing against Ed Orgeron. I don't think you are. Enjoy with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
So Odell has been very vocal about feeling disrespected by the Giants after his trade to Cleveland, and he also claimed that he was the reason why the Giants were still featured in primetime games despite their poor record last season. And yesterday, Eli Manning was asked how he feels about Odell's comments.
I don't think they bothered me. You just kind of shake your head and laugh.
You're laughing.
I think those 2 rings had a little bit to do with why they're on TV.
We won a few games before he was here.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's getting petty.
It's okay. I'm here for the pettiness. I like it, but it's also, he's right about the rings. Can't take those rings away from him. He did beat Tom Brady and the great Patriots in his prime, a undefeated regular season Patriot team.
Odell Beckham had said something in the article. He said, I was the one getting him on primetime games. The market matters, too. The Giants are really, really
popular. The market does play a role in it. Yeah. However, the Cowboys are the biggest brand in all of sports. And when they were terrible, they weren't getting primetime games. So they're not bigger than the Cowboys. Right. And Odell did play a significant part in that. No one was tuning into those primetime games to see Eli. If we're just keeping it real. Yeah. I don't care about the rings, and no one else did either. That said, he also was better with Odell. Talking about he won a few games. He did, but they were 5-11 in 2018 with Odell. 271.9 passing yards, 91.7 passer rating. Without him, 222 yards per game, 81.2 passer rating. He was better with Odell. Yeah. And while we're discussing the Giants and their future, Adam Schefter reported about an hour ago Sterling Shepard dislocated his thumb, so he is injured, and Corey Coleman also tore his ACL, so he is out for the year.
Oh, so it's Golden Tate and a bunch of hurt guys. All right.
So a little thin at receiver there, Eli. That's unfortunate for the Giants. So the Cardinals' first overall pick, Kyler Murray, has reported to his first NFL training camp. He joins first-year head coach Cliff Kingsbury in an offensive style that's been doubted throughout the league. But despite the critics, Murray is adamant that Arizona's offense will be effective this season.
I don't see why everybody thinks it can't be successful. It's just like any other offense. It's an offense. We work at it, we practice it, and it's our job to execute it. If we don't, then it won't be successful. But if we do, like I said, I feel like it works at the college level. I don't see why it couldn't work at the pro level. So it's our job to make people believe in that.
I can't wait to watch him play. I have no idea how it's going to look. I can't wait.
This story gratefully has died down a little bit because it was all we were talking about for weeks on end, whether they were going to take him and what they're going to do with Josh Rosen, and now we know. But I have real doubts about how all of this is going to work out.
I don't know. Okay, now as you watch, He does look small. Am I crazy? I'm not trying
again, the small thing to me doesn't bother me because he's always been small. Like, it's not, he's always been a prospect and he's always been small. There was never an inclination or feeling that he was going to grow. I just don't like the comparisons to Baker Mayfield and Russell Wilson because they have so much more college experience. And then you can argue, well, they have more miles, but to me, that's not miles. There's a reason why Baker Mayfield was able to do what he's done in Cleveland so far. He was the most accurate passer in all of college football, and that matters in the NFL. And I don't think that Kyler Murray's numbers are that far off. I think it's a lot of new all at once, and I just don't have high expectations for them this year. Moving forward, we'll see, but not this year.
Their division's no piece of cake either.
Right. So finally, Caesars Sportsbook released their projected NBA win totals yesterday. The Lakers are set at 51.5 wins.
Oh, where's that?
5th.
Thank you.
In the West.
Thank you.
They haven't won 50 games since the 2010-11 season when they won 57 games.
Look who's number 2.
Okay. But you don't think that the Jazz are championship ready, though, do you?
No, I think they'd lose to the Clippers in the Western Conference Final.
Okay. No, the Jazz are going to be a great team. That's not a no. They're going to win lots of regular season games. I just don't think that they're championship ready.
I think Caesar's Palace nailed it. I agree down the.
I don't have a lot of problems.
I don't. Again, I think they've got. I would take Houston from 3 to 7, but other than that, I like Clippers. So it's Clippers, Utah, Houston, Denver, Lakers.
You don't think that the Rockets are going to win that many regular season games?
I think it's going to take a while to figure that whole thing out. You know, maybe it's the opposite, that Harden and Westbrook will get along great, and over time it'll wear each other out, but maybe it is good early. I don't know.
I don't think they're going to wear each other out. To me, it comes down to what's going to happen in crunch time in the playoffs. That's always seems to be the issue for the Rockets. They're going to win a lot of regular season games.
Look how much stronger the West is than the East. Dallas will not make the playoffs next year.
And they still have Milwaukee as the number 1 team in the league.
Milwaukee is absolutely, Milwaukee and Philadelphia are, even Vegas says it, significantly better than everybody in the East. That feels very fair.
And they have a lot of faith in the Celtics, too. I think the Celtics are going to be a lot better than people think.
Utah Jazz. How about that? Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
So Michael Thomas, a very